Dude, let's hop right into this. I know you got a hard out, and I also have a tee time at 3:43, dude. So this is gonna be.
I've got my golf shirt on as well, bud.
Dude, are you kidding me? All right, welcome back to another AFK interview episode, everybody. Lace up those cleats because we got an NFL star, an elite athlete, an all-around prodigy, Kyle Long, joining us today. Hailing from the sprawling metropolis of Ivy, Virginia, Kyle Long was destined for greatness from the start. With a household brimming with Hall of Fame athletes, it was only a matter of time before he made his mark, and Kyle's journey is nothing short of legendary. Transitioning from a potential MLB career to becoming one of the top 100 Chicago Bears players of all time in the NFL. But Kyle's not just a sports icon, he's also a podcast host, partnering with his brother Chris Long on the hit show Greenlight. He dominates Fortnite lobbies with his wife and conquers intense iRacing competitions within his own house racing setup. Oh, he's also golf obsessed like me. Kyle Long is the definition of a multi-talented superstar, and today we're diving into his incredible story from football glory to gaming triumphs. Kyle, welcome.
Buddy, that was an amazing intro. Thank you for that. You have quite a set of lungs on you, dude.
I appreciate it, dude. Listen, that's why we pay the podcast team here the big bucks to write these god tier intros, man. And I love reading them in.
And, you know, you mentioned golf, and I know we both play a lot of golf. I'm sitting here. I know it's an audio pod, which is awesome, by the way. I was just thinking about how much more comfortable being on a podcast and being able to just have a conversation and not worry about smiling at the wrong time or anything like that. It's nice. But the golf thing's great. I'm in a golf shirt. You were mentioning to me right before you started that you're going to play. It's that bug bit me hard, dude, and it's a tightrope walk between being a present dad and being a husband and being able to go try to work on my game.
100%. How long have you been playing? When did it start? How long have you been going for?
Well, you know, as a kid, like a lot of kids, I was playing other stuff. I was doing baseball and football, basketball, lacrosse if I could.
Even
and
lacrosse,
you know, just
wow.
it was never golf. Like I played hockey as well as a youth, but the practices were so damn early. So I ended up just sticking to the main sports. And all my buddies that I played baseball with that have been playing golf since a kid are damn good at it. And go figure, they've been grinding this thing for a long time. And it's such a unique skill set. And it's something I love. And when I get tired of sitting at the computer and staring at my Steam library and saying, what the hell do I want to play? It gives me an opportunity to go outside and get that vitamin D I so crave and
hell yeah, man.
Sweat and compete and be frustrated with myself. And for a guy who was a pro athlete, I think that golf is my favorite because it's so challenging. And I don't know if I'll ever be good at it, but it's that pursuit that I'm into.
That's a great way of explaining it, Kyle. I'm sitting here like already on the verge of sweating. I have so many things to talk about golf, man. So I'm already on the verge of sweating. I was just outside the backyard killing some time before this. Just got my little putter out there, my little pitching wedge, and I have like a nice, like, I'd say like 40 yards, probably like 40, 50 yards of like fenced in backyard, like actually really solid green, really solid grass. And I just practice little chips. I do little, try to put a little backspin on it. And I was just doing that for about 30 minutes. And I will say that I don't like sweating when I'm out and about, like in the sun. Like I get really uncomfortable. It's disgusting. Like
sweating sucks. Yeah.
Dude, it's the worst. I mean, like you're not in AC. You're just literally getting just destroyed by the heat. But there's something about golf that that is completely different than literally every other aspect of life. When I could be out and about, walking around, sweating with Jess, like just 'cause it's hot out, and we're just doing something cute. Like we did miniature golf the other day. Dude, we're on like nine on the ninth hole. And this is like, it's like par threes, dude. It's so we're blowing through these holes every like two minutes a hole, not even. And I'm sweating and I'm so uncomfortable, but I don't have access to A, shade underneath the golf cart, number one. Mm-hmm. B, I don't have, 5 waters iced in a cooler in the side right next to me. Like, I think that's what it's about, man. It's just that like, you're so focused and zoned in and you have access to just infinite cold water when you're golfing. Like I would assume the way we do it. And it's just amazing.
there's no better way to really to disconnect yourself from the stresses or anything else that's a distraction, really, to just your presence of mind. And when you're on the golf course, at least me, particularly in the fall when there's a lot of leaves on the ground, I'm picturing it in my mind's eye right now, the crunching of the brown leaves on the ground. You're trying to find your ball between the second cut and the rough, and it's like, I don't know where it is. And you're like, damn, these leaves are beautiful. Where the hell is my ball?
Where's my ball,
There's the polarity of this game. And you were talking about sweating. You hate sweating, but there's something about getting a sweat on out there on the golf course. But yeah, it's great. I love golfing. It's competitive. It's a huge part of my life post competitive athletics.
Yeah, and we'll be spending the rest of our lives trying to perfect it, man. It may never happen, but I mean, we got the rest of our lives to do it. Dude, Kyle, you're also obviously God tier NFL player, Bears All-Star. I have a question. Here I have it. It's got a lineup. It says, we have to get into the Detroit Lions or Chicago Bears rivalry, but I don't know. I almost feel like you guys had it worse with the Packers. Am I like delusional there, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we had it bad with everybody, bud. We were skill-based matchmaking. Roger Goodell needs to work on that because it seemed like every single year we would line up our schedule and we'd go through camp and we'd say, "Man, this is the year we have answers for our problems." And year after year, it was Aaron Rodgers finding Randall Cobb, or it was Matt Stafford finding Calvin Johnson for just enough to beat us in Detroit. And people always ask me about playing in the NFC North, and obviously it's a really storied division.
It really is.
It's the most times that a team has ever played is, I think, Bears and Packers.
Yeah.
But the real rivalry, in my opinion, is Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears. We hate each other. They say the Packers and the Bears hate each other because they're like brothers or cousins divided. But the Lions, we're not related to those guys. We hate those guys. And when you go to Detroit, I love Lions fans. I love that atmosphere. They've got great colors. It's one of the coolest cities in America. And you show up and you just want to beat their guts. And the fans are cussing you out. I mean, my rookie year, 2013, I got drafted to help protect Jay Cutler from Ndamukong Suh. And
how many times did he step on you, bro?
He never stepped on me. And you know what? I after I finish this, I want to give him a tip of the cap because he got a bad rap. But my rookie year, I'm playing him. I go up there in the dome, and he beat me for a sack. And I just remember the whole stadium going, Sue. You want to crawl in a hole when you give up a sack. You give it up to Ndamukong Suh, the guy you were drafted to protect Cutler from, and it feels bad. But then you get him at home, and the Bears fans play a part in that. We can work the snap counts, and I get chips and stuff in the second game, and I get to compete with Suh. But then I wanted to tell you about the stepping on him thing. I mean, a lot of people talk about how he was a dirty player, and he definitely did some things that were awful.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong.
For sure.
But you know what? At the same time, he played me clean, and he played me every down, snap to whistle. He was tough, and you had to know where he was, because if it was before the whistle, he was going to try to get you, and he wasn't going to get you dirty, but he was a big physical player, and people lose sight of how great of a football player Suh was for so long and how important he was to Detroit during that stretch.
Absolutely, man. I mean, he was one of the only like little gleams of light that we had on defense, man, for a really long time. Just the pressure that he could get. And he was a big boy, bro. I would say he was one of those like not last, but like, I mean, now you just got these Aiden Hutchinsons, right? These just monstrous, like they're standing up instead of lining up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you knew what he was going to do. Like he would put his hand in the ground and he would tilt his body towards the football. He would line up right on you and he would pretty much tell you before the snap, I'm going to go at your inside shoulder and I'm going to run straight through you and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And it was up to a guard to be able to put up a fight. You know, just like most guys are just not trying to put up a fight against that the whole game. If you can just try to get in his way the whole game, it'll frustrate him.
That's incredible, dude. I've never like, so was Suh, I don't know, like years, was Suh on the Lions before you were drafted to protect Cutler from him?
Yes.
Because so you were literally picked up.
They were showing me like, it was like, remember the Halo sniper montages from Machinima and stuff like that?
Yes, dude.
I was watching like STK Ogre just headshot everybody. It was like, that was my visit, was Suh just bam, 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 highlight film. And they're just looking at me, not saying anything. And I'm like, why do I keep seeing number 90 on film? And they're like, because that's the guy we're going to ask you to block.
Oh my God, dude. First off, incredible reference on the SDK Ogre reference for Halo montages, man.
1 and 2, by the way.
1 and 2. Yes, sir, man. I love those guys, man.
AFK with Ninja.
Dude, I have so many stories I could talk about on Lockout BRs forever, dude.
Buddy.
Like,
you're talking
dude,
to the
okay.
right guy then. I mean,
all right. Let's just dwell on this then for a minute, dude.
Yeah.
I had my brother. So I was the king of 1v1s. Like Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach. I was an addict. Like it's all I did. It's all I wanted to do. If I ever lost in a team hardcore match, I would message the best team on the best guy on the other team and be like, 1v1 me Lockout BRs.
Yeah, Salt
like,
Lord.
Literally, dude, just please. And then they would just send me a message back, BK, right? Just BK, and I'd lose my fucking mind. Just 2 letters, man. Bad kid. It was the worst. But I'll never forget, dude. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I was like 12 years old, 13 years old. And my brother John, who's the oldest, he was up late playing team doubles, and this kid was talking shit to him, like in the middle of the game, like sending him messages and shit. And then at the end, John's like, 1v1 me Lockout. Like he got destroyed, obviously, like in the game. He was down by like 3 already. It was like 3-0. He runs upstairs, wakes me up in the middle of the night, dude. Middle of the night, like 2 in the morning. And he's just shaking me. He's like, Tyler. I'm like, what, dude? He's like, you gotta beat this kid in 1v1 Lockout, man. You have to beat him. He's like, I'm hiding right now. You gotta beat him. So I literally like sprint out of bed, like run downstairs to the setup and just fucking come back and destroy this guy in a 1v1.
You know what? And you talk about like your brother just calling upon a higher power there makes me think about all these games like Halo. And I remember when I super got into Destiny, it was like 2014, 15.
Yeah.
We were running raids and stuff. And I'm not the most skilled guy, but I'm like the most passionate guy on the team. And I'm down to make a game plan, a strat and all that stuff. And I'll communicate well, but I'm just not the best guy. I have a lot of these good friends that I've leaned on through the years. So I've been able to enjoy this stuff, like the competitive Halo scene you were talking about. And I really miss that. It was such a simple game. There were so many mechanics that you could utilize that weren't really intended to be utilized, like BXRing. And I was never a super jump guy, but that game mechanic,
so much fun.
The fight mechanics in Halo was fun, like the CQC aspect of it. It still is, but it's just not the same game, in my opinion.
Of course not, man. I mean, Halo in general has evolved to, unfortunately, try to like keep up. I think with these ADD, ADHD, fast paced, like, or at least that's what the developers, just felt like it's what had to happen. And yeah, the simpler times of double shotting, BXRing, the super bouncing. I mean, dude, like I'll never forget how cool it was when you're playing against a standbyer, like, because there were like 2 different types of standbyers. There were the ones that would just do it off the rip. They don't give a shit. And they just wanted to win the game. So like literally you spawn, they run at you and boom, you're in blue screen. You're
running in a wall.
Yeah. You come back dead and it's like, okay, this is how it's going to be. Game over. And then there's the other standbyers are the ones who are like the fucking salty ones where they'll try to beat you legit first.
Yep.
And then once they start losing, then they start pressing the button. You're like, oh, okay, here we go. So there were times where my brother and I, because I play with John all the time, we played team doubles and we'd be up at like 5 or 6 or whatever. And boom, here it comes, dude. Like now here comes the blue screen. Here we go. We would next to each other though. Obviously we lived in the same freaking house. So I would be like, quit out, John, quit out. So he would quit out. I would super bounce out. And like of like any map that we were on, and it would just win the game. And he would get the rank up too. We would win from time, and he would still.
So you were running the
4-minute
minute offense before you knew what the 4-minute offense was. Like that's a huge strat, and it's something that I wouldn't. My IQ is not high enough to be able to pull that off. So you're the guy that I would have been mad about. If I knew how to cheat back in the day, I would have been pissed at you only.
Run out the clock, man. Like there's nothing great. And then you just message them until they block you, dude. Just like you're fucking trash. You're terrible. And even though John quit too, this is how Halo 2 worked. Even though he quit, like you would still get the EXP if you won, which is like not a lot of games are like that. You quit out in Halo 3, I think like you lose, like no matter what, you would D-rank or whatever. But Halo 2 was different, man. As long as your team
wins, you get the points.
Yeah, as long as your team wins, you would still get the points, which was that was the strat. That was the king strat.
All they were missing was prox chat.
Oh my God. No, there was though. Dude, that's another thing. There was death chat and COD took it over.
I didn't even realize that.
Death chat. Remember you would kill someone and then you would just hear and be like, dude, what the and then you would hear the mic cut out like they even That addition was so subtle. There's no way they even did that on purpose. But the fact that like you could hear their mic cut out after they had that brief window to talk was just genius, just golden.
That's like when you get when I get the occasional like double or triple in Fortnite. I play with my wife every night and her sister, so my sister-in-law, and we run trios, no build, and we get dubs. Like we really do. We're probably man. We get 2 in a row, then we'll have like a top 5, and then we'll win again, and then we'll go to bed. But like I wish sometimes when I'm emoting on a pile of loot that I could just be like having a TED talk.
Yeah. You freaking shit out there. You're fucking trash.
Just talking to him. I just want to talk.
Yeah. That didn't go the way you thought it would, huh?
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God, bro. You know what? I'd be down. Like they need to have like a hotkey that you can add to like, mute it immediately if it gets bad. But I think I'd be into it, man.
Yeah, that's the tough thing with streaming. You're not only streaming yourself, but like I tried streaming a few times and my buddies can't handle it. And my chat at times couldn't handle it. And obviously, just John Q. Public elementary school student couldn't handle it because there would be things said and you can't control all of it. And I'm not savvy enough to put like streamer mode on everything. So that's got to be tough.
Luckily, though, like just to kind of touch on this for a second, usually voice procs, etc., things like that. Like if people are acting up, being racist, saying some dumb shit, 99% of the time, like it doesn't affect your channel. Like if you go out of your way, like after the fact to attempts to have mitigated it or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's good. But still, it's terrible when it happens. It ruins the mood. But I mean, just continuing down this gaming road, man. I could talk about Halo 2 forever. But what was your first game? Like, what got you into gaming?
So when I was a young pup in Los Angeles, California, I was probably 4 years old. It was when Super Nintendo SNES was out, and my dad was playing on the Raiders, and one of his teammates, Nolan Harrison, who was a really good defensive lineman, and now he's like a dad, and his kids are grown-ups. He was asked, I believe, by his wife to be like, give away your video games. You have too many video games. So we got like a giant crate of games, like just
Christmas
like
comes early, dude.
And I just remember as a kid, I wasn't good enough to advance past the first level at any game, but I got to play so many different types of games. And I think that's why you look at my Steam library now and it's so vast. Like there's so many different types of genres. But the first game that really got me sucked was Grand Theft Auto 3. Seeing
GTA. You were allowed to play GTA at that.
When I saw Liberty City for the first time and I saw that he had a baseball bat and the guy didn't talk and the guy didn't take any shit, I was like, man, you know what? That's a pretty cool game there.
Yeah.
Vice City, when Tommy Vercetti was introduced and he had a personality, and Rockstar went to South Beach with it, and you've got a car dealership and there's a golf course in game.
Did you actually golf in the game?
Yeah, I believe you could golf in the game. Well, you couldn't golf in the game, but you could drive on the golf course. It was an open part of the map.
There you go.
And, they had like a Porsche 911 always parked out front. Like these are memories that are burned into my front. It was the Comet, I believe it was called. But GTA was the first series that was like, come here. It's got me by the balls. Like we were saying the other day on the podcast.
Oh my God, I love that, dude. Oh my God, bro. So you've been in it, bro. I knew you were freaking, your family was a bunch of stars, man. Like you guys are incredibly athletic. Like obviously I know that you knew of gaming. Like we talked about it on your podcast earlier, Greenlight, but like, no, I did not know it went this deep, man. I didn't know it went this deep. I'm pleasantly surprised. So you were on the pursuit to be in the MLB, right?
Yep.
And it switched to the NFL. Like, what was just walk me through like that moment of your life? Because I mean, you're like basically the Michael Jordan of football, if you will, right?
Stop.
Like,
well, in 2007, 2008, I was getting heavily recruited and scouted both by baseball schools and by Major League Baseball teams. And I also happened to be a really highly recruited defensive and offensive lineman. And Chris was at UVA, which is University of Virginia, for those who aren't hip. And we grew up in Charlottesville, which is the college town that UVA is in. So as a high schooler, watching Chris was an All-American. He was the number 2 overall pick, Chris was.
That's
and he was
so
a
cool,
DN, which was a spectacular feat for him, and he's a hard worker. But growing up in that shadow, I was like, how can I get out of that? And one thing I could do, I was left-handed, and I could throw the baseball 96 miles an hour, and I could I could turn around a lot of fastballs with the bat. So I was like, let me go do this. So in my heart of hearts, I was like, I'm going to go play baseball. And I turned down the draft. I got drafted in the low 23rd round. But they knew I was going to go to college. So I was like, don't even waste a pick. So I went down to Florida State, and oh my goodness, I had never been away from home. I had never
that's a place to do it.
Less structure. I had never been around so much scenery in my life. What a beautiful part of Florida, Tallahassee, Florida. And I just couldn't handle it. I was having a great time all the time, and it was affecting my baseball. It was affecting my academics. And I went back for Christmas break, and I actually had a DUI in my hometown, which was it was a nightmare, but I look back now, and the best thing that ever happened to me was that night getting arrested and having to be like, hold on, I'm just on autopilot. I need to really, I only get one of these things, life. Yeah. And I reset. I went out west. I took some time at a facility out there. I got my act together. Whether or not I needed that, I definitely needed a change of scenery. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I went out there and I got that. And I was 19. I was working at Jack's Surfboards in Newport Beach, folding T-shirts and building skateboards for kids. I got fired from Jack's because I was smoking cigarettes out front of the store. And they were like, this is a family store, bro. And I was like, okay. So then I enrolled into a junior college, and they had a football team. I met the coach. He was cool. He was like, come play hoops with us on Saturday. We do conditioning. And I went and did that. I got in a fight with this guy named Bo, who's a Hawaiian dude. And I was like, these are my kind of people. I was like, why am I playing? Why did I ever play baseball? I can hang out with these guys and run roughshot every day. And I did. I played football there. I was a backup D lineman my first year at Saddleback, and my mom came to a game and was like, I'm so excited to see you play. And I didn't play. I remember crying coming off the field.
Oh man.
It was, my mom came from Virginia to California to watch me play, and I'm out on the field. And then the second year I moved to offensive tackle, and that's when it was like, okay, like this is just football. And Chip Kelly saw me, and Chip Kelly came to our practice. I knew that Oregon was coming to watch me practice. And I was hoping to get my first scholarship offer from out of junior college. And Chip was there during the warm-ups. You're out there stretching, you're running around, you're dicking around, and he left. I saw him leave. And I was like, I was messing around too much. I got cocky. Chip left. You know what I mean? And after practice, Coach McElroy, Greg McElroy, he said, or Mark McElroy, I apologize, said, Chip Kelly saw what he wanted to see in the first 2 minutes of you just walking onto, you walked onto the field, you had an offer. And and the rest was history. I went to Oregon. I ended up being a starter in the 11th week of the season. Somebody went down, and I went in at guard and got an invite to the Senior Bowl. Luckily enough, I played well at the Senior Bowl, and I got picked by the Bears by the grace of God with the 20th pick in the 2013 draft. And the rest of my life it's been a whirlwind, but it's been kind of a dream. Met my wife in Chicago, who's now the mother of my 1.5-year-old daughter, Frankie, which is a crazy blessing, but it's been so much fun, man. Yeah, so from baseball to football, it was a wild trip.
Oh my God. First off, what an incredible summary.
Thanks.
I mean, literally, dude, so like that was pretty much your entire life right there in the last 10, 15 years, just like beautifully summarized, ups, downs, highs, lows. Wow, man. Incredible. How long did you play for the Bears?
But through it all is family. I want to be very clear about that. Is like,
I've learned that right now.
They'll be hard on you. They'll be easy on you. But when you need it, they'll tell you what you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? And
no, absolutely,
you can't
man.
replace your family. You can't replicate that.
I totally agree, man. I'm 32 now. I've been gaming my entire life. I've been streaming for 12 years, 11 years, and I've been competing in video games for 11, 12 years as well. I retired for the last year or so. I started when I was 17. And dude, I lost a lot of time, bro, with my I mean a lot. Right? My high school, I was playing video games. Even when I wasn't competing, I just loved video games. I just had this feeling. I was like, I'd rather be doing this. Xbox Live had me by the balls, dude.
Yes.
And then some. And so I was I was not going to parties. I was invited to parties. I was invited to the football games, to hang out with the these girls, because I came in from this middle school called Woodland Middle School, and there was Grays Lake Middle School, right? And I went to Grays Lake High School, but like the majority, I graduated in 8th grade with like a class of like 1,000 people. That's how big this middle school was, right?
Grays
and
Lake?
only Woodland Middle School was a class of 1,000, but I ended up going to Grays Lake High School, right? So I was out of 1,000 people that graduated from 8th grade going into freshman year. There were only 63 of those people that were going to go to Grays Lake. So I was like one of and the Grays Lake Middle School was a super small school. So like I was this cute freaking, kid that none of the girls knew. So when I was a freshman, I had all the girls were,
Hot
interested 100%. They're like, who's this fresh little young dude that we've never seen before? Dude, I just never went out. I always just played video games, dude.
That was sports for me. And I mean, there's so much that, like, when you were just saying I missed out on so much, I'm just sitting here staring into eternity, thinking about all of the, potentially friendships, relationships I could have been a part of, the parties I missed. And then I'm like, I don't even bat an eye. And I'm sure you're the same way. It's like,
I don't regret it at all.
It's a crime of passion. Dude. I apologize.
100%.
Like, I missed your wedding in Bora Bora. Sorry, I was playing the Packers,
because I love it. Incredible. You got to beat it. Got to beat the Packers ass, dude. That's number one. That's got to be a priority.
I didn't say I beat them. I said I played them.
Hey, but you tried though, man. That was the objective. That was the goal. So, but no, I mean, yeah, I missed my wife's graduation from college. I watched it. It was streamed. So I was in the hotel room the morning of when she was walking. I saw her get it on my phone watching her, but like I should have been there. That's just like one example. I missed dinner parties with my family. Like when I say dinner parties, I mean, we lived in a beautiful neighborhood, like the classic, just, middle class. Everyone had kids at the exact same time. We had like 10 families with like, kids my age. It was one of those things. And
the
they
real
would come over all the
Hallmark
time.
Wholesome stuff is like
Truly, dude. Truly. And I was just in the basement, bro. I was in the basement gaming, grinding, playing game battles, dude, just all day, every day. And like, I'd have to be, I'd miss dinners. I would miss fucking, events.
You got to keep your sword sharp. And I mean, we didn't get to talk about this the other day, but I have to ask you this. And I know I'm on your pod, but like, I have to ask you. Yeah. Give me your argument for why gamers are athletes.
I would just say that anyone who competes at something at a high level is athletic in some form of way, right? Like, how do you... like physically athletic, like mentally athletic, right? Like there's different categories, but at the end of the day, you're competing to be one of the greatest. And dude, I think that's athletic, man. And for sure.
Like the motor skill, like, there's things that I can't do.
The hands-eye coordination, like, man.
I can hit a 98 mile an hour fastball. I can turn it around and hit it right back at you. But I play Counter-Strike and I peek with an up. And I get, I can't get a kill. It's like,
no reaction time.
There's something there. There's something there that we haven't been able to quantify yet that I feel like is very much an athletic skill. And yeah, I mean, they don't look like, not everybody looks like Steph Curry, but they're athletes. No. Like I think about Aiden, or I think about any of these guys that I've gone and watched majors for CSGO, like the guys who come over from Denmark. And I'm like, this guy has the quickest reaction time in the world. Yes, he does.
Yeah, man. I think you don't have to like simplify it as much as, these guys are game. You know what I mean? Like people try to put people in boxes and it's like at the end of the day, everyone just needs to respect the fact that somebody is this talented at something.
Yes.
And that's what it is, right? Because like people always talk shit about streaming. Like, oh man, I wish I could sit in front of a monitor and play video games all day. Hey, number one, dude, do it yourself. That's all. It's the number one classic go-to thing, dude. It's like, do it yourself. You think it's so easy, man? Like build up a community, get thousands of followers, thousands of viewers, and make a living off of it, right? Like do it. It's so easy to sit there and be like, oh, anyone can do it or whatnot. But like, it was like, it took Jazz, my wife.
Go drop 30 Ks and talk the entire time.
100%. Like it took me like a couple of years before Jess tried to stream once. Jess streamed one time and then was just like texting me like that night after and went, I get it. Like, cause I wouldn't text her back sometimes like 3-4 hours. We're honeymoon phase, by the way. Like this is like, and she would just be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's gotta be doing something. Like, and I'm just like, nah, I got lost, in the game, in my stream.
It's a production. It's like we watch Red Zone with Hanson. People say he's got the hardest job in the world. Right? Like on Sundays, because he's live with you for 7 hours and he's going to tell you.
He's a stud, by the way.
But he's the best. He's the best. And there's a reason why there's only one Red Zone. There's a reason why it's been him since its inception. But what I'm saying is, there are dozens of people that are doing not in the same genre as Hanson. They're not doing football, but they do the same type of thing every week, sometimes multiple times. To your point, the streaming thing is like intensive.
You kind of left us off here, man. You were talking about families, everything. So you're a new dad. You got you said a 1.5-year-old or
1.5-year-old daughter
named Frankie. What's it like, man? How has your life changed besides not being able to golf whenever you want?
My life has changed for the better when I realized, because, I struggled with being a father like a lot of people do early. I mean, yeah, you look at your kid and you're like, oh my God, that's my kid. But a lot of people struggle, mothers and fathers, and siblings. You see a sibling with a new baby and it's tough. It's an adjustment period. But when I realized that the things that I'm doing in my life that I consider to be work or tasks are often for the betterment of my daughter and my kids and my wife. And I want to make life as easy as I can for them. And it's not always going to be easy, but if they can have a rock to lean on like me, then it gives me tremendous purpose. It's almost like I retired from the NFL and protecting the quarterback, and now I'm all hands on deck for being able to play offensive line for my family.
I love, dude. What an analogy, man. I think that this is one of the first times I think I've even like made this connection. Like what is it like to be a father? What does it mean to be a father, right? Especially to a daughter or just in general. And it's like, it is that like, dude, I want to provide for this family. It is my job to protect this family, right? And that might not be the first thing that crosses your mind, like when you're sitting there in the hospital room. But I'm happy that you found it and you're,
well, because you feel like you lose your sense of identity, right? Like, oh my gosh, now I'm not going to have time to go golf 3 times a week. I'm not going to have time to do any of these things that are consequential that you can still do. But I mean, there's a balance, right? I mean, life is a balance.
I love that, man. Congratulations, dude. Honestly.
Thanks, bro.
All right. One of my favorite segments. All right. This or that, dude. The Bears or the Lions?
Ooh, the Bears.
Of course, dude. Starting off easy, dude. Baseball or football?
Baseball. There's more games. If you mess up, you have more opportunities to do well next week.
I like that. I like the answer, man. Football or golf?
Ooh, golf.
Yeah, dude. I played soccer for 18 years. I wish my parents got me to golf, dude. Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift?
Ooh, it's funny. I grew up on Taylor Swift, but
I think we all did, bro.
Play for the Chiefs. Travis Kelce, great teammate, and we came in on the same draft class.
Dude, NASCAR or F1?
I got to go NASCAR, and I got to give you my reasoning. I love F1. Don't get me wrong. It's sexy. It's sexy, okay? But this NASCAR thing, it's about us. You know what I mean? It's about us. And they don't just turn left anymore. They also go right. There's road courses. There's plenty of young, hot drivers that can wheel the hell out of that cup car. And it's a lot of fun to watch. If you haven't watched NASCAR, give it a chance.
Fortnite or Overwatch?
Fortnite. Hard Fortnite. Final answer.
Yeah, good answer, dude. There are some right answers to these, by the way. FPS or iRacing?
I would say, oh man, this is tough. I have so many hours in iRacing. I'm going to go FPS just because it gives me access to more of my buddies that are playing as well. It's tough. It's kind of a niche community in that iRacing community. Yeah, man. 100%, man. Gaming brings people together. That's why Fortnite was honestly so popular, man. Nap time or playtime? Nap time. 100%. Yes, dude. Good answer. Another correct answer. Date night out or date night in? Ooh, my wife and I are reclusive. We do enjoy going out, but when we're out, we bitch about not being in. So I'm going to say date night in.
All right, dude. I've asked that question to like several married couples so far. It's the same, dude. It's the same answer. Everyone's like, me and my wife, dude, we just love staying in.
We hate everybody.
Yeah, so, we're homebodies. Fuck everyone else. Yeah, all right. Other questions, man. Favorite video game of 2023?
Favorite video game of 2023? Man, this is a tough one because there's so much. Well, you know what? I'll go with a classic because I'm going to consider this a new game. Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot
of
of
the
it, man.
physics changes they made to the smoke system and stuff. The reskins of these maps, they look great, and they didn't touch Dust 2, so that's good.
Best gaming memory with your wife?
Best gaming memory with my wife. I'll go with last night. We were playing. We were in a tough spot. I was down hiding in a bush because I was crawling, and she was able to get me after I bled out. And once she figured out that she doesn't have to fight every fight, she can kind of just hang out, watch, and then, scurry in, get the token, and revive. It's like revive is the final goal. Last 100%. Night she revived. We came down. We just closed in on somebody and got the dub. It's a good gaming. She's getting better, man. She's making progression.
I love that. It's funny. I tell you say that's how your wife plays. That's how my brother plays when we play duos. That's how John plays, man.
I'm like, John,
dude, I said, John, just take a knee, dude. Just get in the bush. Please. These guys are good. I messed up. Like, just wait for them to go.
And then they didn't miss any of their shots.
Yeah, 100%. I know it immediately. And then he'll get me up and we win the game, dude. All right. Favorite underrated vacation spot?
Favorite underrated vacation spot? Well, if I tell you this, I'm going to have to kill you. Well, the answer is Montana. My family's been going up there since the mid 90s, and Yellowstone turned people on to Montana, but there's been plenty of those movies. A River Runs Through It with Brad Pitt. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's a fishing movie. And young heartthrob swoon Brad Pitt. And Montana, Northwest Montana. It's a fabulous part of the country, and they've dealt with wildfires the last couple summers, so I hope it continues to be green up there.
Yeah. All right, man. I promise I won't tell anyone about it. We'll cut that clip out, guys. Cut that question out.
Yes.
Best takeout meal, in your opinion?
Best takeout meal, man. There's a place in Charlottesville that makes their own pasta. Like, they make pasta from scratch, and they sell it out of like a. Those doors where the top part of the door opens and it's like a lady leans out, like an Italian lady leans out, and she's like, one order for Kate, They sell you, like in Chinese to-go boxes, essentially pasta to go. And it's fabulous. We eat it in the car often. It might be sacrilegious, but it's delicious. I've never thought that to-go pasta would be the move.
Okay. I can honestly agree with you there. I'll have to try it out, man. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your phone, which ones would you keep? They have to be App Store, so you have to download them.
I would keep the X app. I would keep Woodoku, which is a game that I play, and I would keep the messaging app because I need to text my wife.
The messaging app, it comes with the phone.
Okay, well then in that case, I'm going to get Instagram.
Okay, there you go. So no DoorDash then? No food? No. Okay.
Dang, Grubhub would have been the one, but it didn't make it. It didn't make it today.
All right. And last but not least, dude, we all know AFK stands for on this show. The podcast is called AFK with Ninja. In your own words, define AFK, man. What do you do when you are away from keyboard?
AFK is doing exactly what I want to do. Like, when I see the guy that I want to get, like if I get on at 8 p.m. and I want to play in a tournament on Rocket League, I look in Discord and I see that Neckbeard Gamer 420 is AFK. I'm going to say, man, he's probably having a lot more fun than I am right now.
All right, man. Dude, great answer, dude. That was one of the best answers we've got, man.
Thanks, bro.
I love it. Dude, Kyle, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate you coming
Seriously,
on.
a pleasure.
And dude, we got to do this like once a year, like every football season, man. I'll come on Greenlight. We can swap.
I fucking love to hear that. And let's maybe get out and golf sometime. Have a great round this afternoon, bro.
And there you have it, folks. We've reached the end of another epic AFK with Ninja episode. If you've enjoyed the journey thus far, please consider leaving a rating, review, and hitting that follow button. We have a ton of incredible guests coming your way, and I want you to be the first to know when a new episode drops. Until next time, catch you soon.